is amazing. It's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostyn and Cam Waters.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Fishies in a row. They're here to make a point and to do Eddie proud. They fan out in the background as they come down to turn 1 for the first time. It all looks pretty good, 2 by 2. We'll stop the camera here. Oh, Eddie would be proud, mate. That was awesome run around turn 1. But, oi! Contact with the fishies.
He's made it through. It doesn't look like Angus has made it, but Thomas Freeman's made it through, and Angus is going to suffer the crowd coming through there to be able to turn his car around.
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannon's insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride.
ride with Shannon's.
Call 134646 for a quote.
And they are off. It was a good start from Dylan to Bono. I think Phil Vella got a great start there in the background as well. You can see already cars going 5, 6 wide as they're trying to find any semblance of space. They come into T1. So far we've got 2, 3 wide as they snake down. It's Michael Conchar that's got around Dylan de Bono. A couple of cars going wide there. Was that a bit of contact in the back? Scott Pocock caught up in that, I think, there, buddy. But it's Michael Cullajar's got past, so Dylan...
light is coming out and we're about to get going, and we have a green light and a very slow start for the 86s, but they are moving out there on the grid. It would be very interesting to see exactly which driver can capitalise on this first lap. Just go through the grid. Look like Jamie Christensen had a really awesome start to get ahead of Dylan de Bono, and Doug Gowage also jumped his teammate as well, so unfortunately Dylan stalled the car a little bit more than what he preferred. But
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.
Still great classes of car, and if you are able to, if you're coming up the ranks on iRacing through the licenses, it's a fantastic sort of laneway into prototype driving, going from that GT3 up through the prototype classes. As the safety car pulls in and we get ready to go green as we come up towards the line. Edwards, Hasler, who's going to get the jump down to turn 1, or will any of the fishies, any of the piranhas in behind them, assault them down towards
green and they're
this
off.
first lap? Let's go here.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannon's.
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
This is amazing. It's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostyn and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanek and Jamie Dyson just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't implemented it, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's see if he gets a good run. Dodds just absolute thinker, but it is a really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you are watching from, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sim Racing World TV. We are back once again for the Shannon's Formula 3 Nationals here for round number 6 of Season 1 of 2024 out at Mount Panorama, Bathurst, one of Australia's, if not Australia's, most infamous circuits on offer for us here, not only on iRacing, but in the world of racing as well. I'm your commentator here tonight, Hamish Munro, joining me once again 2 weeks in a row. We've managed to get the double of Stefanie Piccoli once again. Steph, big round last week out at Aragon. Maybe it under-delivered, but Bathurst is one that always delivers, and we could be on here for, almost like Christmas morning when you wake up and you got a heap of presents under the tree. We could be on for some exciting stuff here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It was a little bit disappointing. It wasn't as much action as we hoped for Aragon last week, but definitely on for some action tonight, I think. Bathurst, it's one of those tracks you always hope the mountain's going to be kind to you. Sometimes it doesn't always work out, but definitely on for a good night tonight.
Yeah, I think, what is on offer for us here tonight is a chance at glory for some of these drivers. Of course, we are only 4 rounds away from the end of the season, including this one. So 3 rounds after tonight until we crown another champion in the land of Formula 3s in the Formula 3's final season here on SRW TV. With the introduction of the Super Formula Light, we will be moving to that for Season 2 and beyond. But speaking of championship, let's quickly just have a look at this just for a moment here. We'll see how the standings are looking here after the first 6 rounds of the championship. So currently, as it stands, we've got Daniel Byrne, P1 in the championship still. He has not changed position since we last checked on it a couple of rounds ago. He's currently on 807 points. He's 3 points adrift of his teammate David Gallo there in P2, with Caleb Bellac in P3. He's up 3 spots since we last checked. He was in P6 a few weeks ago, but after that massive win last week, getting not only to the first driver to be a 2-time winner in the series this season, but the first one to take 2 wins in the same night and win a round that way. He now goes up to P3 in the championship. He's up 3 spots from where he was last time. Jay Dixon on 782 points. So he's staying in P4, but he's been jumped by Bellac. So he hasn't actually really moved anywhere, but he's only 7 points off the back of him. So a strong round here tonight after a disappointing end to Aragon last week for Jay. Could see him jump him as well. Will Ryan's then dropped 2 spots down to P5 off the back of Bellac's stellar performances. He's now on 774 points, and then Andrew Johnston, the P1 for Pro-Am, has now dropped out of the top 5 into P6, and he's a fair way off the back of Will Ryan at this stage, and he's only around about 10 points ahead of his current rival in the championship, Matthew Gerard. So there is still a lot on offer this season, Steph, for championships. The fight is going to go all the way to the end. I mean, those top 5 drivers are separated by 33 points overall. So anything can happen here across the end of this season.
Yeah, definitely. It's very, very close out there, and it hasn't changed much week to week so far. So we're definitely on for a tight one coming into the last 4 rounds here. We'll have to wait and see if what happens tonight, if the championship standings change, and if there's some instances or whatnot. It definitely could throw a spanner in the works.
Well, speaking of spanners, we've had a couple of moments happen throughout this season, hoping obviously for clean running here tonight, but the toolboxes maybe opened up more than once out here at Bathurst for the simulated mechanics of these drivers. It's such a tough circuit to get right, and when you're lapping around here in an open wheeler car, but not just an open wheeler car, in the F3, which is quite weak when it comes to getting hit by things or hitting other things. we could be on for some absolute chaos out there tonight in these cars. Now, obviously the big update came today. There is rain in iRacing officially. Tempest has been released, but on the weather front here tonight, there are clear skies ahead. No rain for us. Of course, these cars do not have wet tyres, so if we were to get rain, it would have to be red flag. They wouldn't be able to drive out on circuit. Now, when we move over to the Super Formula Lights for Season 2, the possibilities of rain will go up because we will no longer run static weather. We'll likely go to dynamic since the option of rain is open. But 33-degree track temp at the moment. It could possibly get a lot hotter than that over the course of the night. And, you know, anything could happen out there in terms of incidents happening, of battles happening. I don't know if you caught the Supercars race last night, Steph, but the battles that were on track last night were absolutely exceptional. I was lost for words at the end of it. I had to take a good 3 hours before I went to bed just to kind of recalibrate my brain from what I had seen, just from how good the battles were during that race. And if we can get anything even close to that here tonight, we're going to be on for an absolute ripper. Yeah, unfortunately I did miss watching that last night. I'll watch it tonight after this. I'll tune into that and have a look at it. But yeah, definitely look. Bathurst always puts on a great show, no matter what category you're in. Yeah, I think it, you know, it is just a circuit, and sometimes maybe it's overused and not overloved, but, you know, kind of overhyped a little bit. I think it is a circuit that deserves its praise for sure, but I think, you know, it works better when it's used sparingly. You know, I think I kind of go back to thinking about having 2 Bathurst rounds in one supercar season this year. Does it make the 1000 feel less special? Quite possibly. And I think it also, I mean, watching that race back, I don't know if you caught it or both races, it kind of proved that endurance racing works best around Bathurst more so than sprint racing. So, you know, it's a tough one to balance. But I think with the F3s, we're probably going to get enough carnage to make up for the fact that we're not doing 1000 Ks. I think so, yeah. Look, I think definitely have to agree having the 2 races sort of takes that special shine off it at the end of the year, and yeah, which the drivers sort of treat as their grand finale, so to speak, even though it's still another couple of rounds after that to go. But I think there is a fine line between having using this track and overusing it is definitely a fine line. Even when you're on iRacing or leagues and whatnot, it can definitely be overused if it's not done correctly. Yeah, I think it's a track that obviously if you're running a year-long series, I think it's fair enough to have it one time across the year. If you're running, a season within every single iRacing season, then maybe once every 2 seasons, or you have it in season 1 and then maybe like if it's at the start of season 1 and then maybe towards the end of season 3 as well. It's such a tough balance to get right, as we mentioned, and I think it's a little bit like Le Mans as well, where you don't want to overuse Le Mans or overuse the Nordschleife. These are these big, real, gems of circuits in the crown of sim racing and in racing in general, that you don't want to take that special feeling away of them. There's a reason why there's only one Bathurst 12-hour a year. There's a reason why there's a Bathurst 6-hour that happens over Easter. It's because it's a special and magical track, and they don't go racing there too often during the year. This year, I think that at least for televised events that I know of, it'll be 4 times since the 500 happened. So right. You hardly ever race around here, and that's what makes it feel special, is because it doesn't happen all the time. Yeah, that's right. It's definitely anything more than that, I think, is too much. But if you race on this track every 3 seasons or so, depending how long these seasons are, obviously 10 weeks, 12 weeks. I think every 3 is probably ultimate. Anything more than that is probably a bit too much. Yeah. A couple of chats we've got already. Matthew Gerard saying, hey to everyone, great to have you here. Maddie, best of luck here tonight in the race. Harry Dodd saying, are we going to have some rain here? No, we're not, Harry, we're not. It's clear skies ahead. Unfortunately, the F3 cars don't have wet tyres, so they can't withstand the rain. So if we did get rain, the race would get red flagged because we wouldn't be able to go racing. But we're on static weather and it's clear skies ahead here tonight at Bathurst. We're on board at the moment with current pole sitter David Gallo, who's currently on 2 purple sectors in the previous 2. He's coming up through the last sector now. We'll see if he can better that time. He's already done a 58.45, which is 0.5 of a second faster than P2 at the moment, Greg Bradley. So we could be on for something magical here off the back of Gallo's lap. Does he better his time? He doesn't, but he does actually. 158.43 there off the back of that one. So that was exceptional.
Definitely, yeah. It's definitely tight up the top. Yeah, as we always expect, you know, these guys, they're quick. Seeing those times around here at Bathurst is incredible.
Actually, I'm just going to correct myself there. Gallo did the 58.5. It was Bradley who put it on pole with a 58.4. So he was the one that actually went 200ths faster than Gallo's previous best time. Ryan, at the moment we mentioned him, he's P5 in the championship. He's currently P3 on the road for qualifying as we're about just under 7 minutes in. We're coming up to the halfway point. It's such a long lap, Steph, that, you know, you're not going to get that many laps here tonight for qualifying. You know, you really got to use, you know, be smart about it and not try and hurt the car, because if you have a crash and you've got to tow back, then you got to redo everything over again. Like, it takes 2 laps to get the tyres warmed up as it is. So, you know, you'd have to think halfway through the session, if you have an incident, that could be session done and dusted for you.
Looking at these lap times, 1:58, you're looking at a tow around here of about 2 minutes, or over 2 minutes. So, you know, even if you have to tow, you're out of contention straight away.
Well, I mean, it's like if they were to tow right now, that's then 10 minutes until they can get back in the car. They've then got to do another 2-minute out lap. They're only going to have time for one more lap. Realistically, if we look at the structure for tonight's race, I do believe it's a normal round, so they could get 2 laps in if they start it before the end of the 15 minutes. But you would really be pushing it. Balak here, he's on a purple in the 4th sector, but there's been contact down the straight with Cochrane.
No, massive contact.
What has happened there?
Like an odd one.
That's
weird spot there.
That's really weird. I may have to just have to rewind here because I haven't actually got an option to check it, but I just want to see what's happened. So they're coming down the straight. What's happened? He's gone in the toe. Oh, he just hasn't moved. He hasn't moved fast enough. He's just pulled straight into him. He's just driven straight up the back of him there. He had the opportunity to pull it out, but maybe he wasn't expecting Mark to slow up at that point.
Maybe underestimated the speed he was carrying, or the pull of the toe.
Not sure, but
that's possible. Yeah, wow.
Well, we'll leave it up for race control if Mark called it in or not. We'll have to wait and see what they say. De Bono's here on an absolute blasting lap time, or blistering, I should say. Changed my words at the last moment there. De Bono goes P1 though with a 58.1, so he's absolutely blown Bradley and Gallo out of the water there. Going 3/10 faster than them for the fastest lap of the session, and he could be setting himself up here for an absolute blinder of a race if he can keep this thing on pole and maximise that start as well, just to keep him out of the trouble, which we could possibly see in the mid to rear of the pack.
Yeah, definitely. Look, you always, no matter what you're racing in, being towards the pointy end, it's always going to be more beneficial for yourself than being mid-pack or, you know, at the back, or, you know, if you're going to be at the back, you want to be the last 2 rows. Anything between probably the first 4 rows and the last 2, yeah, definitely got to be having your wits about you and be very spatial aware of what's around and who you're racing and knowing how people race each other.
I reckon it's probably more beneficial if you can't get your car in the top 10 in qualifying. Maybe it's best you just start from the pits. Especially in this race, because we could see some carnage out there. Now, Mitch Noble is back off the back of his round ban, and I do believe he has a rear of grid. So even though he's out there doing qualifying, I believe he should actually be starting from the rear of grid based on the fact that he's just come off that ban. So we'll have to wait and see what race control do about that one, and if they are on top of it. We have got Rusty Gander in the chat as well, saying good evening all. Great to have you in here, Rusty. We'll see. Yeah, well, hopefully, I think we're already setting ourselves up here for what could possibly be a more exciting round than last week, of course, out at Aragon. I think it possibly was just the wrong layout choice, maybe around there. I don't know. I think Bathurst is probably the one and only over 1 minute 30 lap time track I would pick to have in the F3s, because it at least is a carnage maker. You know, where like Aragon's very open, even though it's over 2 minutes. Same with Spa, really. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. It has the entertainment factor. It's a bit of a master of ceremonies when it comes to setting up some carnage for us. So Daniel Byrne still currently sits P4. I saw someone get up there before. I know it was Byrne. It was Byrne who got up into P4. He got up there with a 158.58, a little bit off the lap time of Bradley. Gallo has now put his car P2, 158.21. So could he produce some magic for us here out of the Carlins Motorsport machine and push that car to get an extra 1/10 and get it past De Bono? He's only 900ths of a second off the back of De Bono's times. There's absolutely nothing in it between them. In fact, it's even... no, it is still about that, actually, even though his is a 2.0 and De Bono's is a 1.16.
Yeah.
It reads as a 1.2 on our timing software and a 2.1 for Gallo because it doesn't have the third decimal place. But Gallo will now start another lap. We'll sit on board with him here. We'll see if he can do any better than he did previously in this car. Now, I'm going to double check I've actually got the right camera selected. That's the wrong one. That's fine. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. There we go. Got it in the end. We can now sit on the intake of this F3 car. Of course, as of next season, they will not have clear views ahead of them. They will have the halo in their eye line on the brand new Super Formula Light. It'll also open up the option for rain, as we mentioned, so we're super excited about that one coming in to next season. The drivers will have about 4 or 5 weeks to get practicing from now, as the car did release today. And they'll have up until the end of this season as well as the start of next season to get used to it. I do believe, though, our Formula 1 rounds in between the season will be running the Super Formula Light car, but have not confirmed it just yet. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. Byrne goes P3, though, Steph, 158.28, so he's only 700ths of his teammate. And look at Gallo just dancing it down through the S's there. Unbelievable.
It's incredible to watch these guys wrangle these cars around this track. It's one little mistake and you'd concrete. There's not a lot of runoff up across the top there, so it's great to watch.
Well, he's currently on 2 purples in previous sector, or 1 purple in a previous sector. It was a 10.15 in that previous sector. He's also gone personal best in the first with a 21.89 and then 25.51 in the 5th sector. That was best, but it just got bested by the grandpa Doug Gowans.
Wow.
He went 1/10 of a second faster through that sector. We'll see what this lap looks like here for Gallo. Is it the final chance for him? No, it's not. He'll have another lap in him. But does he go pole? He does. Into the... Oh, my God. A 57.8. Oh, wow. What a lap from him there. That was unbelievable. But Bradley with a 57.85 beats him by 200.
Could we see the lap record tumble tonight? Well, they are a fair way off.
And you know what, Steph? He beat him in the final sector. It was 300ths faster in that final sector, and that's what got him the current provisional pole. So Gallo's going to have to push like nothing else matters right now. Oh, no, and he's pushed too hard, and that's going to be lap over for him.
Yep.
De Bono now will cross the line. What's the lap from him looking like? Is it any better? I don't believe so.
P3.
Yep, P3 for De Bono. He could get another lap in here. We'll have to wait and see what he can do. Byrne crosses the line. Is it any better for him? It is not. So there's not that much magic left out there for anyone to possibly beat Bradley. But what a lap to crack in the dying embers. Gallo would have been celebrating, thinking, oh, yeah, I've got this. That's pole position. And then Bradley just chirps up and just clips his wings a little bit by about 200ths of a second there. Like, it was absolutely insane.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, straight after that lap, Bradley just put it straight into the garage. So fairly confident he's held out the front row there.
Well, Gallo's lap is most likely over and done with. He's in all oranges. Track temp currently, we did check it at the start of the session, it was 33 degrees. Currently it's 32, so we're actually getting a bit cooler now at the moment, Maddie. So we're getting some cooler track temps out there. I have actually just realised that you're not in the session tonight, Maddie. So missing this race, unfortunately. So this looks like this will be Mr. Gerard's drop round. Gallo's brought it in. That's the end of the lap for him. at that stage. So a couple more drivers still out there looking to finish their laps. Konitska actually is on for a good one. He's had a purple in the mid-sector. Belak's just beaten him, though, for P6 on the road at this stage. But can Konitska go any better across the line here, Steph? Let's check out what the time is.
No, he does?
No, he was just off his time. Oh.
Not far off.
Unfortunately, Mr. Gerard has work, so sorry to hear that, Matty, that you're not able to join us out on track here tonight. So we will wait, though, for the rest of our drivers to come into the lane and finish their laps. And then we're going to get ready to go racing. I think it's 30 laps, and I believe Hutto said it was about 180 Ks tonight. So it's going to be a long one for them, and if we don't go green running, it's going to be even longer for them as well.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I don't think I've ever seen a race at Bathurst that's been green running right through, regardless of category. So be interesting to see how it all plays out tonight.
Well, Mr. Byrne is the final one to bring it into the lane, and then we will be able to run through our starting grid for tonight's race. But I cannot believe that 57.85 from Bradley. What is the current lap record, Steph? Just for Curie on the back of that one, actually, for a qualifying lap.
Yeah, looks like it's a 57 flat.
That was by Jay Dixon, wasn't it?
Adrian Loretti.
Oh, Adrian Loretti, yes. A man who does not currently race in the series. So. Yes.
It was there for the taking tonight. I think the track temp just got the better of him.
Yeah, I think if it was a little bit cooler, they may have had it. They may have had it in the bag, possibly. But we will await our qualifying session to get finalised, and then we'll go racing here tonight. If you guys saw the Supercars broadcast last night, let us know what you thought of the battles on hand. I thought it was absolutely exceptional, and hopefully tonight we can get just a little piece of the pie off the back of that one as well. But starting grid up on the screen now. Greg Bradley takes pole position with a time of 157.852, just besting David Gallo by 0.017 of a second into P1. But Gallo, P2 on the road at the moment. They will make up the first row of the grid. Dylan DeBono and Daniel Byrne will then line up on row number 2 for P3 and P4 and behind, with Doug Gowans in P5 here tonight, starting alongside Will Ryan out of P6. It'll then be Caleb Balak and Marcus Konitska making up the 4th row of the grid in behind. We've then got P1 and 2 for the Pro-Ams in behind them, P9 and 10 on the road. Andrew Johnston and Callan Hodgkinson in behind. It's then Scott Pocock and Adam Simpson in P11 and P12 on the road as it stands. We then move down to Brendan Storer in P13 and Shane Bowen out of P14 here tonight. Keegan Caldwell will then start pole position for the amateur class. He looked to have a strong run last week. He ended up, I believe, winning the amateur class in race number 2. He'll start alongside Mark Cochran in P16 here tonight. Your teammate, of course, and your friend, Mr. Cochran. We then got Mitchie Noble, P3 in their class, P17 on the road ahead of Brad Hudson out of P18, with Callum Rossender out of P19 ahead of Matt Tesseriero making up the top 20. It's then Dean Singovich and Peter Morris lining up in behind them, with Steve Singovich and Kevin Wakefield making up the top 24 on the grid. We then move down to our race controllers, Thomas Freeman and Greg Barber. It is then Nick Schmalenberg and Greg Johnston in behind them, and then Dave Roberts in behind as well. I don't believe Mitchie Noble was Mitch Noble on the grid? I know he set a lap time. I don't know if he's actually on the grid or not. Oh, he is on the grid. It's P17, but we'll see if he has the rear of grid. Regardless, though, I'm sure it will be confirmed for us once the majority of the field does grid up for us. We can see there David Gallo, P2. Even though he's starting P2, relatively speaking, he's in P1 on the road, isn't he? Like, P1 and 2 line up right alongside each other here at Bathurst. The only advantage that P1 has is they are on the inside of the first corner. So, he's not really lost out too much there by not being on the inside. He could have a better run than Bradley off the line, and all of a sudden he's P1. So, it's...
yeah, definitely. And if he gets a jump as well, it depends on what sort of jump you get. If he gets a decent jump, if he swings it around the outside, he could, obviously have the lead into turn 2.
Oh, you know what I've just noticed, actually? He is actually a bit further back. We've actually got offset gridding at this race. They are not side by side on the grid, so it's an offset grid here tonight at Bathurst. They are not lined up side by side. Lights are up though. Let's get ready to go racing around at Bathurst. Can we survive a lap of Mount Panorama? It's green flag racing. We had a couple of dropouts in the background there, but it was a good start from Bradley nonetheless. Gallo will slot in behind him here as we make our way through turn 1 for the first time here tonight. 1 hour of racing to go for these drivers if we can keep it green and keep it mean. Up the hill for the first time now. Gallo looks to have the run down the straight, but look at Bono just lining up right in behind him. Absolutely incredible scene. Look at the gap they've already pulled on Gowans and Byrne in behind. Look at Gallo up the inside though. Bradley at Griffins makes it work, gets it done, and now De Bono wants it round the outside of him, around the cutting, and Bradley there just backed out of it. That was the smart move from him. There's already been an incident in behind. I believe it's Dean Sinkovic. But we'll see the replay at the end of this lap as well. But Gallo P1 to De Bono to Bradley. That's the 3, Byrne and Gowans, as we make our way up through Silman Park.
Yeah, great back out there of that corner. That could have ended in disaster for the top runners. That was a great decision to do there.
Yeah, I think, again, just that race-saving mentality of Bradley. He knows it's a long one to go. He's got the pace to be up there. You're not going to lose anything by giving up a position on lap 1 in comparison to the end of the race. So he's been smart about that. There's been a big incident in behind, though, and it's at the Dipper. Oh, my God. Bellac's on his roof as well.
Straight
see
through
that
him.
car that just went straight through him?
Straight through. He
me
must
off
have
guard.
coasted.
Oh, that was a big spin there. I think that was Sinkovic possibly or Noble. And it's already going off. I reckon we're going to be under safety car, surely.
Yeah, our track looked fairly blocked up top there, and cars on their roof. Once you're on your roof, yeah, there's no going back. The only way around it's to tow.
Well, it has already been an interesting turn of events so far in this race. I spoke pre-race some of the drivers, Steph, about when we could see the first incident. I called it to happen at Skyline. I believe it was Greg Johnson said it happened at the cutting. Well, we've already had an incident at the cutting, but it wasn't a track jam one.
No.
But what a first lap that was.
I think it was about 3/4 of the way around, and that was about all.
It was. And we are under safety car as well. So safety car is now out on track. So we now get a little bit of a reprieve here just to check out some incidents that have happened. No, we'll leave it up actually. So we'll check out. First off was Dean Sinkovic, amateur class driver, of course, up at... Oh, it's actually at Griffin's Bend it's happened. It hasn't even happened at the cutting.
Really?
Oh, and he's had the wide line. And I nearly got collected by his brother on the way through.
Or did he? Because he lost his nose cone. So
he may have, yeah.
Might have just clipped him because he lost his nose.
Possibly. And then this was Bellac. He went off track here up at McPhillamy. Oh, he ran it wide. And as we come down the hill, we'll check this out. This was Hodgkinson. Daniel Fritz saying the 8.6 is a lot quicker since the update. Very interesting. We'll catch up on the chats as well during the safety car period. Oh, and Hodgkinson just caught the bump, and that's what's caught. The driver's out, and that's how Bellac flipped his car.
Wow. Oh, they're still going.
They are still going.
Wow. That bump is treacherous. If you're on the gas and not in the right gear, you're gone.
And that was the on-board with Bellac. With Caldwell, sorry. And then Peter Morris was also involved as they came through. And just, the Dipper claims another victim. You can see the smoke initially through here. Oh, and he tried to avoid he tried to avoid them, and that's what's kind of caused it. And then you can see all the carnage that's ensued ever since then, just pieces of car everywhere, all over the circuit. It's not what you want to see early on at Bathurst, but that's what Bathurst can bring us, of course.
Good luck to race control with that one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's going to be a tough task for them, but P1 at the moment is David Gallo on the road. He did well to jump past Mr. Bradley early on in the race. De Bono then followed him. It's Well, it's interesting to see that lap 1 has already claimed some carnage. Could we be stop-start for the whole race, Steph, or do we think maybe we're going to get a bit of a reprieve and a bit of a calming of the storm possibly from some of the drivers out there after they've gotten it out of their system now?
Well, the saying is safety car breeds safety cars. I would like to hope there is some decent green running, and some, where the guys can have a decent battle and a decent crack at it. Obviously, it's always a bit of entertainment if there's a couple of incidences here and there, but would like to hope to see majority of it green running.
Yeah, I think maybe if our race is cut up into thirds by safety car periods, that's not too bad. But hopefully it's not every 5 minutes that we see one come out.
Yeah, no, that's it. It could make or break a race strategy as well.
Well, that's it. We
such
know
a long rain.
Well, we know that Hutto said if it was full green running, it'd be a 2-stopper. This is, Matt, exactly right, mate. This really opens up the fuel strategy now because it means that they can save some fuel. And if we can get 1 or 2 more safety cars, then we could see people really pushing the boundaries of doing a 1-stop in this race. We'll have to see what the plan is from some of these drivers. A couple of comments that we missed in here. Maddie saying, I already had a drop round, so sadly second 0-point round opens the Pro-Am Championship up between myself, Sam and Andrew. Well, I mean, being that you're only, I think, about 10 points behind Andrew at this stage, Maddie, you're not, you may not be losing too much, of course. Andrew's still in the fight for this one, but, the championship's still on offer. I mean, 3 rounds to go after this one here. It's only going to take 1 bad round from Andrew if he'd be back in the hunt again. Phil Weller was saying that's a big oof. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And then Mr. Iceman saying Mark definitely breathed in to get through that crash. Oh, he would have.
Definitely
he surely
did.
would have. And then Mr.
Might need a change of underwear for that one.
Oh, definitely. Matty Gerard saying, is it worth driving in for some fuel? I honestly think it is if you're towards the back. So if you're kind of in the last 50, in the last half of the field, it is worth just taking that little splash of fuel because it means that you're then actually going to open up the strategy later on in the race, and it's going to mean you're going to need shorter stops when you're under green. You're not going to be losing too much by coming in towards the back of the field. You're just going to go a couple spots back. We saw it work out for drivers in IMSA on Friday night. They were up the back. There was a safety car. They came in, put a little splash of fuel in, and then they managed to get themselves up into the top 5 just based on the fact that the other drivers had to have longer stops under green. So it is worth it. If you're further up the field, I'd say probably not if your competitors aren't necessarily doing it. You also need to have the pace, though, to get through the field if you're higher up. So someone like a David Gallo or a Jay Dixon, for example, or even Phil Vella, they would benefit from it because they actually have the pace to come through the field, where if you're not lapping about a second to 2 seconds faster than the majority of the field, you're going to lose too much time doing that. So it's, you're really going to be one of those kind of 100% upper echelon drivers that are, consistently winning races and consistently getting podiums as well.
On that, I thought it is possible that, if you come in for that splash, you've done 1 lap, that could potentially be a 1 lap that you don't need to save, where you then make up that little bit of extra time on, cars ahead that have stayed out.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. And again, if you come in now, do that little splash, and if you're towards the back of the field, if we get another safety car, you maybe will only need 1 less safety car than everyone else from that point.
That's right.
To get to a 1-stop, and all of a sudden you're in the hot seat for something special. So it's a real gamble, it's a real dice roll, but I've seen a lot of people make it work in the past, and it's definitely one to consider for sure. If we were running CPSs, for example, and your CPS window opened up lap 2, everyone would jump in under safety car right now because they'd get it out the way.
That's right.
So, but no CPSs means strategy's open and it's up to the drivers to make that decision as well. Mr. Iceman also said, I think the safety car might complete 75% of the race on track. Well, we'll wait and see. We're making up for the lack of safety cars at Aragon last week. That's what it is.
That's right.
So, yeah. But, I mean, majority of the field, I think about 5 or 6 cars, possibly more. It was more than that.
I think it was about
9 cars were involved in that incident. From P17 down to P25. So from Bowen down to Schmalenberg, all came into the pits. Pocock and Roberts have not made the start of this race. So all of those guys were involved in that incident, or at least in an incident at some point, and have had to come in and you know, fix the cars up. Biggest gainer so far this race, Greg Johnston. He's up 13 positions off the start, up into P15 in this race. So he's really done well to avoid the carnage and just to make his way up through the field off this race start. But safety car's pulled away. We're going to get ready to go racing once again, Steph. Hopefully we can do more than one lap this time by. And we'll see David Gallo lead them away for the first restart of this race.
Yeah, definitely. It's always great to watch the restarts of these. How long is he going to hold them for?
I think probably either if... would you hold him to the line? I don't think so.
I wouldn't.
No, I think
I'd go on the exit.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to do. Oh, no, he's balking him.
No.
He's balking him back. So he's holding him back all the way to the line, and there he goes. No further action on the lap 1 incident, of course. Completely understand why race control will make the decision, because it is like trying to play chess when you know how to play checkers, trying to figure out the answer to who caused that one. It was just one of those things that happened, you know. I think it was... Hodgkinson made the mistake, and then it just caused an incident in the background, but there's already contact in the background.
There's massive contact.
That was Dean Sinkovich. I believe Steven Sinkovich has also been involved. Have the two brothers had a bit of a tangle down at turn 1? We'll have a look at it at the end of the lap. But Gallo leads to DeBono and Bradley up through the cutting for the second time under race pace here tonight. Lap 4, 11.5 minutes into proceedings. Now we're getting closer and closer here to the danger zone of the track, Steph. This is really going to be the true answer to our test of will we continue green running is if we survive the dipper again.
Yeah, definitely that dipper's a bit scary at the moment. Oh, straight off the skyline into the wall.
That was, I believe that was Bradley into the wall there. Yep. We'll get the replay of that one as well. Oh, Will Ryan's also had an incident there too. As we're on board now with DeBono into Forest Elbow and down Conrod Straight.
Mark's also slipping down the order there.
Yeah, I believe there's, it's an incident that has only gotten worse off the back of it.
Like
so we'll definitely be going back to check that one out. If we possibly
Ryan
can.
was involved.
Oh, DeBono run on the back of him.
That was close.
Very
good job there
close.
to pull it up. Good job to pull it up and without locking the brakes as well.
So this was the lap 1 incident with both the Sinkovich brothers. You see, Dean just ran it wide, and I think Steve had already had an incident a bit further back. I think that's what happened on the back of that one. And then here is the incident involving Will Ryan. So there you see Bradley into the wall up ahead. And then he's going slow through there. Ryan's trying to avoid him, and as he's come back on off the curb. And that's just caused a big Constantina, and surely that's another safety car.
Oh, no.
He's doing his best Team WRT BMW impression there, except he's wall riding the back of a car. Oh, it is absolute. It is absolute shame.
And any of those guys that were caught up in the lap 1 incident as well, they probably wouldn't have any quick repairs left either.
That's it. So we'll get another view of it. This was up in the blimp. So there's Ryan there, making his way through. And let's look at this. So that's Bradley on the curb of death. Hits the curb and then bang, straight into the side of him. And then all hell breaks loose after that. So Bradley's into the wall a bit further back. He did well though to hold his brakes. But Ryan is currently now just playing roadblock at that point.
Yep.
You know, and he's got nowhere to go. Neither does the car in behind him, which I believe might have been Johnston. And then,
being such a blind corner, you can't see anything until you're on it.
Yeah, that's it.
Part of the track.
So it claims a couple more victims in this one, but we're still green running. We're still green at this point.
Yeah. Looks like the guys managed to get them back, or by the looks.
It was a perfect mount, Phil. Absolute perfect mount for sure. That was I feel like I'm going to need... it is a safety car, so Race Control have called safety car off the back of that one. Oh, Gallo just nearly tempted De Bono in then, but wasn't quite there. So we have got a safety car off the back of that incident.
Phil calling out our fuel saving engaged.
Yeah. This is now full fuel save mode. This is down at the chase. Sinkovic has ended up going off track. Oh, he's run it wide behind his teammate Noble.
Yeah, just run it too deep. Maybe a bit of aero wash. Might have come into play there as well.
Quite possibly. It's very entertaining, but I'm glad I'm not out there. I'm glad I'm not out there either, Rusty. It's yeah, you wouldn't want to be racing amongst this. If you're up the front, you're loving it because they're not really getting involved in anything. But if you're in the mid to rear of grid, you are absolutely hating life right now.
You're in trouble.
Oh, you are. You are in massive trouble. There have been a couple cars who have come into the pit, so I believe there were some cars involved who didn't use their fast repair just yet. Greg Bradley is in the lane. He's in the pits. Of course, he was involved in that. We know that he hasn't used it yet. Matthew Gerard saying, is that Steve's fuel save tactic? What, just getting into incidents so then he can save fuel? Quite possibly. We don't know. We cannot neither confirm nor deny. We could also pull him in and ask him if we really wanted to. Cut the track. Oh, cut the track, yeah. I guess so. You know, if you got to go, 100 meters less every single lap, eventually you'll gain a lap back.
That's right. Don't know how your incident counts will go with that though.
No, I don't know. Couldn't really answer that question.
It might be in a bit of trouble with that one though.
Maybe. He's admin. He can just clear black flags.
Very, very fair point. Definitely. Yep.
Although I want to see him struggle to do that when he has VR on. Just to hear him going, "Where's my mouse gone?" He can't find it.
I wouldn't like to be trying to do that with VR.
No, would not be a fun time at all. So we now get another little moment here just to relax and kind of settle in. We've done officially in this race at least a full lap distance of
green running.
But that's across I think 6 laps. We've done that.
Yep.
This is definitely going to be one to go down the history books for sure.
Definitely.
could this possibly be the fewest laps we've ever run around Bathurst in an hour?
Oh. I don't know, yeah. Might be one to try and go through the archives, maybe.
Possibly. We'd have to double check it.
Do some deep diving into some stats.
Yeah, some good old stats. Interesting enough, though, on the stats, let's talk about previous winners. We've only ever had 4 previous winners, Steph. None of them are in the race tonight, so we're guaranteed a brand new winner out at Bathurst.
Yeah, this is very, very true. Just having a look at those names, they're definitely not on the grid. So
yeah, so Loretti, Vela, and Cuttajar, they're all former race winners, but Vela and Cuttajar, former. They were rivals for the championship, really. And then also Matty Jones is not out there either. So, could we see a Gallo or a De Bono or a Byrne get up there? I mean, it's within the realm of possibility, especially if we finish the race under safety car. But we'll have to wait and see if the safety car may even have to start fuel saving. Oh, it's phenomenal. Unbelievable. I hope the safety car driver remembers to turn it off whenever they bring it into the lane. Otherwise, they'll blow the engine, and then that'll be it.
They will. Yep. Safety car's in by the looks. Going green.
Bets on the next safety car. Oh, lap 8. Definitely.
Yeah. Yep.
So, round the final corner. No, we kid, of course. I don't know. I hope it's not lap 8. He is gone at the exact same time as last time did Mr. Gallo. We start lap number 7 in this race. We are just under 20 minutes in, and we've only done 7 laps. I mean, we're etching to the point now where we're about averaging 10 minutes a lap nearly, if we're not careful. Hard to start and stop. It really is. It is so hard. It's so hard on your mentality because you never really get into that rhythm, do you?
No, and that rhythm is so important around tracks like this. If you lose that, even if you're having an incident, you lose that rhythm, you're in all sorts. to try and get it back again.
See Belak on Konitska now. He wants it round the outside of the cutting. Konitska not giving any space up for him. He holds that inside line, keeps the position for himself off the back of that one. We're at least getting some little battle packs occurring here in amongst the carnage that has been happening. So whilst we have had green running, Steph, we are at least getting those good little battles that we were so after last week. So we're getting a bit of everything here tonight. We've got some fuel strategy, we've got some carnage, plus we've also got some good little battles in between the yellow flags as well. So it's good to see.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely was missing last week, unfortunately, in race 2. So it's good to see the guys making up for that this week.
Keegan Caldwell, we mentioned him. He qualified pole in the amateur class. Put it on his roll bar. Lap 1, and that's a car on the wall. That's Greg Johnston at Forest Elbow. I think luckily no one's been collected with him. Luckily off the back of it, so we could be safe right now. They're just edging us off the back of that, wanting to try and give us a safety car. But yeah, Keegan ended up on his roll bar lap 1 after that rollover. Would have used the fast repair, so now he has to be super careful. Oh my God, Brendan Storr, I thought you were going to run right into the back of him there. I was wincing off the back of that, but
that was close.
It was very close. Well, funnily enough, though, Keegan may be 2 spots down in his class. He's actually 3 spots up in the race. So notice what happens when there's a bit of carnage. You can still come back after it all. Rossender up 11 positions as well, and he's into P1 of class. So he could be on for a good night. Luckily for Mr. Gerard, Andrew Johnston, not lucky for Andrew, but lucky for Matt, he was actually involved in that incident on lap 6. So he's now actually down in the point. So he may not be gaining as much as what he may have if he had kept a clean race on Matty this time by. So, you know, could still be on here for a good battle. 3 wide into Griffins is not it's not an ideal decision. They made it work though. But yeah, we'll have to see if they can get into their groove. Because again, this is one of those tracks that when you're in your rhythm, that's where you shine. But when you are stop and start, it is so hard to get it done and get into that rhythm, as we mentioned. Sinker, though, under assault.
Oh, had the slide on. Look out.
All sorts of out of shape there was Mr. Sinkovic. He's almost like Play-Doh. He's just getting moulded and changed by the other drivers trying to come past him, and he's just trying to, you know, stay in the mould that he was. But as you come down through Skyline and into the Dipper, well, we've at least gone 2 laps nearly without a yellow flag, which is good to see. So
definitely, we've made it to lap 8.
We have.
Look out.
I doubt we're going to get to. I don't think we're going to get to lap 31 here tonight, but we could still be on for 24 laps, hopefully.
I think the average there was about a 3 to 3.5 minute average lap time under those safety cars, so that's taken out a massive chunk.
Yeah, it's definitely like we've lost about 6 laps at least from the safety cars. Sinkovic has had an incident and he's gone off at that. He's just employing his fuel saving strategy now. He's cut that corner again.
Still got a bit of damage from earlier.
Possibly. I don't know if he actually came in before. He has. He came in lap 1, so he would have fixed the car up at some point, but he's just struggling to get into that rhythm once again. Storer and Tessiero, though, they've now gotten past Caldwell, but Caldwell wants to come back past Mr. Tessiero. He gets it done up through Griffins. Feels good to be kind of... I don't want to settle in, because it feels like you get a false sense of security of clean racing.
Definitely get a false sense around here. Just when you think it's all smooth sailing, it's you don't know what's going to pop up around here.
That's it. That's exactly right. Phil Weller saying the appetite of these folk for battling at the top of the mountain is insane. Yeah, I know. It's there's always drivers who want to push it and battle across the top instead of just settling into the line and being smart about it. I see it in officials all the time, and even in other leagues of people don't drive as smart as what they should around here. You know, if you're stuck behind someone across the top, you're better just to sit behind them and maximise your run onto the Conrod straight, and you'll get them by the end of the straight. So,
yeah,
you know, it's a race-saving mentality, we'll say.
Yeah, definitely. If you're sitting in behind a car as well, they're trying to punch through the air, so you're coming in behind their draft, you're actually fuel saving as well.
That's exactly right. And
then you get the slingshot at the end of it.
Yeah, Phil Weller saying Grandpa up for a podium. He could very well be. He's on P3 at the moment. Balak's having some dropping out issues up ahead in P5. On board with Caldwell in behind this little battle of Hodgkinson, Storer and Rossender. Rossender was in the top 10. He's now dropped down a little bit here. Both the Sinkoviches have gone off track again. I'm not going to look at it though because they've actually managed to get back onto the tarmac. But up now with Gowans. Look at the gap that De Bono and Gallo have pulled on him.
Massive gap there. Almost 2.5 seconds. That's huge. Oh, it is 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's a huge gap.
It is. On board with him now. Off the back of him, there's the gap back to Konitska. 0.8 of a second. We'll go up on board with actually, no, we're going to sit on this camera. I want to see what this looks like on board with Gowans as he comes through Skyline and then in through the S's and into the Dipper. Because it's going to be a wild ride. Oh, look at the
He's
drop
using
away.
every millimetre of road he can.
Oh, and that's what you got to do. You know, you got to use every piece of tarmac on that road surface. Phil Weller saying Doug got some nice new pedals. If he finishes on the podium, we'll be asking about those. Maybe a possible short review of them as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's having a good run in tonight. There's the gap off the back of Gallo. De Bono having a little bit of a blink in behind. Oh, look at that. Look at the pace difference down the straight.
That's huge. That toe slipstream is huge.
He's absolutely huge.
Get it done? Oh, not quite.
Oh, not quite close enough just yet. Got the outside line coming into the final corner, but I don't think 2 into last is really going to work that well.
No.
He's going to force it though.
Oh, they'll make it work. Oh, a bit wide, touch wide, but he's all right.
Phil's saying I wouldn't battle that. I'd be taking Phil's advice off that one because he is a former championship winner. And again,
got it done though.
He did indeed. Yeah, Phil's saying just drag third up to you. Exactly right. You're dragging. I mean, Gowans has now gained nearly 2 seconds on him. Like, he's up within a second in that battle. You know, all of a sudden, this battle is now becoming more and more interesting. A heap of cars are into the pits.
Yep.
Kevin Wakefield had an incident off the back of this lap. What's he done? It's been at the top of the mountain. Oh, and he's caught the curb. Oh, and that's a tow, and that's a safety car.
Safety car.
That's why a heap of the field have come in.
Curb of death, that one.
And it catches so many people out, not even just in F3s, but in any other car. It can catch you out so easily. This is the onboard with him, and let's watch this wild ride on board with Kevin Wakefield at the top of the mountain. Oh, my God.
Big hit.
Oh, massive hit. I
hope his wheel force feedback isn't set too high.
I hope he let go of the wheel, to be honest with you. I hope he just let go.
That would have hurt.
And the chat are already chiming in with box, in and in. You for sure are coming in on this stop, like on this safety car. 100%. Like you have to come in at this point. So
28 minutes in, you're definitely going to start thinking about coming in for a splash.
Oh, yeah. And you might as well do it because if you've made it to this point under 2 safety cars, what's to say there's not going to be 2 more before the end of the race, you know?
Exactly.
So it's... Mr. Ice was saying the left front lifting at Forest Elbow is good too, depending on their line. Yeah, so... and then Phil Weller saying, I wonder if Greg will pit. He might have a fuel advantage here. That's true.
Yeah.
I think if Greg does pit, he's still going to have a bit of a pit stop advantage because he's going to gain some time in the pits, being he doesn't actually need to put as much in. But if he comes in now, it means he's going to be able to save to the end. So it'll be a gamble. I think it's worth the gamble for the position that he's in to not come in and just wait for another safety car. What's he going to lose off the back of that, Steph? You know, he has come in though, but he's P24. Like, what would he lose off that? You know, he could only gain if it would work out.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think he would. I mean, he's what is he? 1 lap off the pace at the moment, off the lead. I don't think it's going to disadvantage him too much.
No, and he'd get his wave around.
Yes.
To come onto the back of the field again. So I don't know. I don't know if he'd lose that much, but safety car will pick up the leader. The current leader is Brad Hudson. Funnily enough, so Brad has now taken the lead. He came in on lap 5. So all of a sudden, Steph, the people who've actually been involved in incidents could be on here for something magical, because we're now seeing, well, Brad is doing what we thought Greg might do and just roll the dice. You know, he's rolling the dice on another safety car, taking advantage and coming in, and he's not going to lose that much off of it, you know?
No, that's right. And yeah, the guys that pitted earlier, they've got that couple lap advantage to stay out, but potentially stay out at this one, with everyone else pitting in and gain some spots that way as well.
I guess it's really going to depend on how soon do we get another safety car, or if we do get another safety car, when will it be? You know, he can't go too long, obviously, on this tank. He will have to pit eventually, but he would like to pit under yellow, not under green, definitely. If he pits under green, then the dice rolls failed, but if he pits under yellow, he's laughing.
It's worked in his favour. Exactly right. He's currently up 17 spots after all that.
Yeah, biggest gainer so far. Biggest loser is Greg Bradley, 23 positions down where he started this race. And it's all just in recalibration mode for him at the moment. He's just trying to come back at this. He's now under the same strategy as everyone else. I don't know if it was such a smart move to go into the same strategy. I think he would have been better off just, again, risking it. You know, what's he going to lose by risking it? I think it's possibly a bit of a misplay there from Mr. Bradley.
Possibly. I'm fairly certain this isn't the last time we're going to see the safety car tonight.
No, I don't think so either. But I think the fact that he could have made up so many positions then, and he has the pace to then gap everyone. The problem now is he has to fight his way through the field, where before he'd have a yellow flag pit stop where everyone else would have to stay out.
A bit more of a clear ahead.
Exactly, and he would be pushing the limits on a one more stop. You know, it's such a balancing act, and it's such a hard decision to make when you're in the car.
Definitely.
You know, if I was spotting for him, I would say, you know what, man, risk it. Just go for it. Why not? What are you going to lose? But, you know,
when you're out there, it's depending on what overlays you have, whether you can actually see, you know, who have pitted so far and who haven't as well.
That's right. But I guess Phil Weller saying, yeah, definitely an alternative strategy position. Yeah, for sure. Like, I guess maybe, you know, someone will be able to talk to Greg in future about it. Or if he watches the broadcast back, he can listen to what we're saying. You know, just keep that in the back of your mind for next time. If you end up in the same position, maybe just roll the dice, you know. But this is probably the perfect track to do it as well, Steph, because you know you're going to make up positions by people having incidents. So
definitely.
That dice roll's only going to, you know, it could only benefit you, and it almost puts the favour in your hands a little bit more. You know, it's definitely interesting. How many laps has the safety car done compared to the drivers? Safety car's coming up on its 4th lap, or on its 5th lap, sorry. So it's done 4 laps now as it crosses the line. And the drivers have done 12. Well, they're starting their 13th lap at the moment. So, yeah, it's no wave rounds yet. No wave rounds yet. Greg's going to need the wave around.
He will.
If he wants to get back into this. Mark's in the pits now as well.
The late pit stop?
Maybe he's thinking, oh, I'll come in now and then not need to pit again to the end.
Potentially. Yeah, maybe.
He's not going to lose too much out of this either. And he'll be at the back of the field, so if there's a bit of an incident up ahead, I'm sure you guys have got spotters. I'm sure he's going to get told about it beforehand before he even gets to the incident. And
look, I've heard Mark's spotters. He runs about 2 or 3 programs at once. So
he doesn't have a live spotter.
He doesn't. No, everything is done electronically. But with both of them going at the same time, you don't miss a thing. I've spotted for him in enduros and that kind of thing. And then when you actually hear, I've watched back his stream before, and I've gone, yeah, well, you don't actually need us to tell you where there's an accident, because you've got about 3 different voices in your head telling you what's going on. So,
plus the
very
spotters,
self-sufficient.
plus the spotters as well, right? Like,
yeah, he's quite self-sufficient in that respect. But look, it does help with, especially earlier when the track was blocked. It definitely does help to have a spotter there, who's flicking a couple of cars ahead to see what's going on, or seeing the gaps change dramatically very fast. It's quite easy.
Sorry,
the
safety car's gonna
smoke.
It's gonna blow its engine.
Yeah, I think it already has. I think it's gone too far.
The car's not set up to do 4 laps apparently, or 5 laps.
Oh. That's
surely. I think that's another one we're gonna have to send into iRacing for clips of the week. Surely, we'll.
I think so.
We need someone to clip.
Smoke.
Someone please clip the stream and send it into iRacing for us, because I want to see SRW on clips of the week at some point in time. But
that's gold.
That's absolutely gold. Oh yeah, that engine's gonna be gone.
That is gone. Yeah.
Oh, hopefully if they don't get a fast repair, Phil, there is another safety car in there. There's actually 2 more in there. There's Thomas Freeman and Greg Barber. So if Leakey's blown the engine, we're not letting Leakey live up to that. By the way, like, he's getting chirped for that now forever.
Like Mr. Iceman, the safety car needs a safety car.
It does. We need one of those we need one of those medical cars out there now. Just like the Ford Ranger or something, just backing up the field just to take it over.
That's it.
Well, Fritzy, he did it to himself by blowing the engine.
Yep.
He should have
probably sitting in a high gear, in a too lower gear for the revs or something like that.
He should have just put the limiter on, and then sat in like 3rd gear or something.
Yeah.
So Greg Barber just over the radio. I believe he will be confirming James Bond's smoke screen activated.
That's comment of the night so far.
All right, I'm going to say this to Sinker as well. We got to change the number on that car. Unfortunately for Greg Badley, he's going to lose his number, but we're going to change the number of the safety car to 007 from now on.
007. Yep. Even though you don't like the triple numbers, we're gonna do it.
Oh yeah. Like I don't mind a 0 in front of the number as long as it's 2 zeros, like 007, because at least it rolls off the tongue.
I don't think Bradley will be too keen with that.
No, he won't. He won't. But he's giving up something for the cause. He's making a selfless sacrifice off the back of that. Lap 14 now, 37.5 minutes into proceedings. We've got 23 minutes to go of this race. And we've done about, I'd say, 10 minutes of racing in that. We can see De Bono, though. He wants it round the outside of Hudson. I believe Hutto will just let him have it at this point. So come up through Griffins once again. Oh, he's not giving it up. He's battling. He's going for it. The WA native not letting De Bono have it easy. Here's Mr. Hudson as we come up through Griffins. Oh, up through the cutting, sorry. He has got him. Bellac, though, with a late dive on Gowans in there. Gowans does not want to let the young fella have that. He will wrestle him like all heck. Is to keep this spot right now. Really showing the young fella how it's done by an older generation.
He's riding right on his rear bar there.
He's right on his heels.
Or lack of rear bar.
Right on the wing, just pitching a tent in behind him. He's gone camping underneath that rear wing. He wants some shade. Look at the better run though that Gowans just had. Ballack pushing to be up in behind him really hindered his run through there, because it meant that Gowans has clean air. Ballack had to then back it off and actually try not to hit him. So that's actually done him an issue there.
Yeah, definitely. You can easily let off too much when you're that close behind, and going through there, it's not somewhere you want to be tucked up so you can't see where you're going.
I'll tell you what, this race, no matter how chaotic it's been, it has actually been an absolute ripper so far. It's been so fun. Just everything that's happened so far in this race. I reckon round 6 is already shaping up to be the best round of the season across all of our series. We started it last night with the supercars out at Motegi. It was absolutely awesome to call. Then tonight we've had chaos after chaos, just typical Bathurst with open wheeler stuff. It's just been one of them fun nights to call. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, as well, just a reminder, an official announcement. Saturday night, we bring you our iRacing rain reveal racing. We've got 3 races coming to you Saturday night, live streamed with myself and Sinker in the green room, in the broadcast booth. It'll be 3 hours of wet to dry to wet action. We started off at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time is when those sessions open. They will start off with the 8.6s, of course, 20-minute practice, 20-minute race, and then a second 20-minute race, all in the wet. Oh, Ash DeVries in the chat as well, saying much wow and moist. Great to have you, Ashos, my good friend. And then we move into the Super Formula Lights. The first time they'll be on the series, we'll get a bit of a preview for next season of those flipping Ashos, I tell you. We'll get a good little preview of those Super Formula Light cars in the wet prior to them making their debut next season. They'll be racing around Phillip Island. The 8.6s will be going around Oran Park, as Doug Gowans had an incident at Skyline as well. And then also off the back of that as well, that night, we'll also have some IMSA action out at Lamore in the rain. This is open to any SRW member. As long as you are a paid member, you will have access to these races. If you would like to come and have some fun in the rain with us at Oran Park and at Phillip Island and at Lamore as well. So we'll be going live around about 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time on Saturday night for this action. This was an incident, though, with Mr. Johnston up through Griffins and just ran it wide.
Like he might have locked the brake, carried a bit too much speed, and locked the brake and didn't turn.
So we saw this battle was heating up before with Bellac and Gowans. Bellac forced him wide.
Oh.
He just ran it out. Oh, and then big tank slapper off the back, and that's definitely a tow. Is that definitely a 4th safety car of the night? That
definitely
is the
potential.
question.
It's not in a good spot there.
It's not. We're going to quickly just check this out again, but we're actually going to go on the onboard here with Mr. Bellac. So we need a better view of this, actually.
I believe a safety car is out.
Okay, so we have got a safety car called by Race Control. In fact, we're going to go Daniel Byrne here. We're going to go roll bar. This will give us an idea.
Maybe we don't.
That's Will Ryan. There's Knitska. He's behind this. Oh, we've already missed it, so we've got to go back.
No,
so go back. Oh, there's contact there. That was contact, but
ever so slight.
That's
going to
be
enough.
It might have been. It's going to be up to Race Control. It's going to be up to Race Control, but Gowans is back in the pits. De Bono leads at this stage.
Still green.
It's still
My
green.
mistake.
Yeah. So they have not quite. I think they're just giving him a chance, just to get into their rhythm. You know, they've been stopping and starting all race. Phil Vella saying no racing room left. Yeah, it's a tough one. You know, we can't really give our verdict on it. Of course, we're not in RC. It'll be up to them on what they think's happened there. Do I think Caleb should have gone for the move there? I personally wouldn't have.
No, I wouldn't have either. I would have waited.
Yeah. But we'll have to wait and see. It's up to Race Control at the end of the day. Hutto's done well for himself here. P3 on the road.
Yes.
Could he make it home from here? 15 minutes left nearly. If we get another safety car, he could be on here for a podium.
He could. I think he last pitted at lap 5.
Yeah.
Well, stop starting. Look, it's possible. Most of the other guys have pitted on lap 11, so I mean, he probably could. He might be able to make it.
Yeah.
Be touch and go, but it depends what folds out further on, I guess.
That's true. Matty Joe
potential to make it.
No, that's right. Matty Joe saying Caleb was well up. I'd say the corner was his, almost same as mine last week. Yeah, it's you know, I think it's tough. I mean, I'm not denying that it may have been his corner because he had the inside line. But should he have gone for it? That's the question. I don't think he should have gone for it. I think they just confirmed it was no further action, quite possibly. I just missed that.
That was on lap 15.
Yeah, car 043 on lap 15 no further action, so that was a separate incident. That was... Who was it?
I think that might have involved Mark Cochran as to why he ended up back in the pits.
That, yes.
I think I've seen his number. I missed the other one that was on there. There was 3 of them.
Was there? Okay.
Yeah. I missed that though.
Yeah. Didn't quite catch it in the end, but... well, with Hutto here, he's doing well. Storer's calling something in at this stage in time. We'll have to wait and see if anything does happen. There has been an incident with Keegan Caldwell and Dean Sinkovich.
Sinkovich is dropping down very quickly.
There's Keegan coming up towards Skyline. Over the crest.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, there's Sinkers.
Could this be another safety car? Looked like a bit of a track block moment there.
Possibly. We'll have to see. Here's
Depends what the guys
really
decide.
need to change that from quarter speed. We'll put that back up to full speed. This is down the hill for Morris. Oh, you see there. Oh, just nowhere to go. They were still rolling, but it's a tough one. Mitchie Noble's now back in the pits. Phil Weller saying, I find the respect you race others with is what you get back. Yeah. I think there's definitely receipts on the table for people who hand out deals with other drivers. We'll call them deals.
Deals.
There's definitely or coupon. We'll say there's definitely coupons available to people who give out deals. But yeah, it's a tough one, and it's up to race control at the end of the day to make that decision. You know, personally,
that's why they're in the race control box.
That's right. No, personally, we wouldn't have gone for the move. But he did, so you know he nearly made it work. But at the end of the day as well, it takes 2 to tango too. So maybe Dougie could have just lifted there and just slotted in behind. But you know, we'll see what race control says.
They've got all the angles and the reviewing techniques.
That's right. That's right. They look at it a lot more than what we did. We had about 2 looks at it. They will look at it down to the minute details to see before they make their decision. Unless it's something obviously super obvious where someone's straight lined a corner and then T-boned someone. But
that's right.
Yeah, well, this race surprisingly has gone fairly quickly.
It has.
Even with the safety cars, it's actually kind of just fun. I think the safety cars have actually done us a benefit of making it flyby because they've done less laps in the 47 minutes we've actually been racing for. So. Imagine if yellow laps did not count towards the end of race time. We'd be here forever.
Oh, we would be. It'd just be extended for keep going.
Mr. Bellac, I believe, has just lost a spot there to Shane Bowen. He's put the move on him previously. He's actually gone off track. But so did Byrne. So maybe there's a little bit more to that story than what we might think.
Potentially. Also seen Bellac on the radio there as well. So I don't know if he was calling something in or not.
We'll suss it out. Let's check out the replay. We got Mr. Luke Crum in the chat, most famous man in the real-life Toyota G086 field. Oh, and that's off the back of that one. That's what that was.
That was close.
It was. Oh, and he's just dived him.
Late dive, yeah. Oh, he did actually clip him there.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a close rejoin.
That was a very close rejoin. Ooh. Again, we'll leave it up to the stewards off the back of it. Luckily for Bellac, though, he's still within the top 10, so he still could be on here for a good finish. But De Bono has just stretched the legs on David Gallo at this point. 1.8, about 1.9 seconds is the gap. The safety cars are doing this benefit actually of keeping the battles nice and close. They've kind of spread out a little bit now, but the question is with the fuel strategy now of like when people will need to come in, if they need to come in at any point, when that will happen and who will get the benefits of it as well as we come down through towards the chase. So as much as I hate the ad, we are bringing the Bathurst here tonight. Absolutely hate that ad. It is so
not the best.
No, it's not. It's definitely not. But I suppose we remember it and we talk about it. Hutto's in. So Brad Hudson is into the lane. for his second stop of the race. It'll be his final one as well.
Might have decided he probably couldn't make it till the end.
My bet in what car though, Jackos? That's the question. I've actually never done a lap around here in an F3. I think I've done it in the F3.5 before. I don't even remember what lap time I did. I think my best ever time was in a GT car, and it was a low 2.0, like a mid 2.04, something like that. I think.
Mr. Iceman, I know one car that is good on fuel.
Yeah, it's the safety car.
Yeah. Interesting to see who that is.
Yeah, it's massive fun in F3. I'm sure it is, and I'll probably have a rip in the Super Formula Light. So a Prius.
Prius.
Oh, definitely a Prius.
Damn. Yep.
That way you drive around in Crummy. I know you are a Bathurst native, so yeah. Well, I guess it's probably a mid 204 in the GT car. I think is what I've. Although, did I bring the IR? I may have brought the iRacing like V10 F1 car around here. I can't even remember, to be honest. It's been a long time since I've driven anything other than a GT or a supercar around here. I don't really have the stats off the back of it for you, unfortunately. But yeah, I'd say mid 204. It's been my best time.
I'm well and truly off that.
What
in a GT3 round.
Oh, okay.
Well and truly off that.
It took me a solid week of practicing to get to that lap time, so.
Yeah. I've got the two, anywhere between a 2:10 and a 2:13, so I'm well and truly off that.
Well, if that was in a GT4, you'd be laughing, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's it.
But it takes time, it takes practice and getting used to a car at the end of the day.
That's right, exactly.
Even though I haven't driven consistently for a long time, that's what I tried to put into practice when I would drive a lot, was just practice and take the time to learn a track and learn a car as well and get the most out of it. Try and put into practice what I preach on a broadcast every week. Keyword is try.
Hit your marks and smooth, consistent, and you're surprising how much time you can make up.
That's exactly right. Phil Vella apparently has done a 156 in an F3 here, but obviously not within the official session for SRW, being the lap record does go to Adrian Loretti with a 157 dead. We are getting now some lap traffic, Steph. There are a couple of cars out of contention of this race, those being Doug Gowans, Dean Singovich, Greg Johnson, and Steve Singovich. All those cars are now out of the race. And they will just be waiting for the checkered flag to fly. We're edging closer and closer to no more safety cars, being that we are only around about 2 minutes away from the 5-minute marker to the end. So it's looking likely we're probably going to get to about 24, 25 laps in this one. So we may not need a pit. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. DeBono did 11 laps on fuel. That was under safety car, though, in the first stint.
It was.
So whether he can make 13 or 14 laps with only one safety car period is yet to be answered for us. So we'll have to wait and see, though, how the fuel numbers are looking for them and if they can get it to the end. It's all up in the air at the moment, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. Look, fuel strategy, it's huge advantage and or disadvantage depending how you play it, how it works out for you. Yeah, like having safety cars, it sort of throws a spanner into your, mixes up your strategy. You can have this perfect plan of potentially breaking it up into 3 sections, so you've got that little bit of a break here and there, and you know exactly how much fuel to put in when. Sometimes that can sort of be thrown on its head with a safety car, and we've had 3 safety cars so far. That can definitely put a spin on it.
Yeah, I think as well it's hard to, not only it's hard to predict when those safety cars are going to happen, but it also, it completely changes how you may actually plan You don't need to ask that question again, Jack Oz. We're 6 minutes to the end. You don't need to ask that question. My mates are just in here at the moment, absolutely trying to chirp us in the chat.
He's trolling.
Oh, they are. They are.
He's trolling.
They are. Absolute tosses sometimes of those boys, but I appreciate it nonetheless. So, 4.5.
Oh, they keep it interesting.
They do. They give us something to talk about. 6. I'm losing all sense of. Oh my God. Okay. 5 minutes left in this race, ladies and gentlemen. We're on lap 22. De Bono leads to Gallo, to Knitska, to Byrne, to Simpson, to Ryan, to Bellac, to Bowen, to Johnson, to Hodgkinson. That's the 10. Storer, Rossender, Schmalenberg, Tessiero, Cochrane, Hudson makes up the top 16 and the drivers who are currently on the lead lap. It's then Noble, Bradley, Wakefield, Morris, and Caldwell who are left out on track still. So, we still got some good runners out there. Bellac and Ryan, though, swapping positions like it's nobody's business. Let's keep an eye on this little battle here. Could be on for something special. Bellac into the top 6. But Ryan's not going to let him get away with it just yet.
No, definitely two fierce competitors there going at it. And just, pushing each other along. It's good to see.
Yeah, it's, after the struggles that, Bellac's had in this race, he'll just be wanting to try and get it to the end, but still try and get up those spots if he can. Phil Vella saying, I'm in Canada and it's maple syrup on everything. It kind of is, isn't it? I do love a poutine, though. I don't know how poutine would go with maple syrup on it. I'm not going to lie. But 4 minutes left now, lap 23 in this race. Looking more and more likely it's going to be about 25 laps. Ryan on the back of Bellac, although not quite close enough yet to put an assault on him towards the end of this race. David Gallo is just trying to chase down Mr. De Bono up in P1 at the moment. This is the battle for the lead of this race. These guys have been P1 and P2 all throughout proceedings pretty much, thanks to some safety cars. And after getting the jump on Greg Bradley come lap 1, who as well, Mr. Bradley, is now up to P18 in this race. I think,
recovery.
Retrospectively, probably the better choice that he did actually make that stop, since we haven't had another safety car.
Yeah.
We couldn't guarantee we were going to get another one. Couldn't guarantee we wouldn't get another one as well.
You never know.
But yeah, it's at least worked out for him at this stage. No more safety cars in this one. We will be straight running to the checkered flag flying as Gallo just tries to get that gap shorter and shorter to De Bono. It'll be 57 minutes when they cross the start-finish line. Lap number 4. There'll be 2 laps to go in this race here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, of the Shannon's Formula 3 Nationals around Bathurst. If you haven't already, please, fastest lap of the race. Thank you for asking us that question, Mr. Jackos. Current fastest lap of the race goes to the leader, Dylan De Bono, 157.79 or 787 there. It's reading 79 on our screens, but he currently has got fastest lap of this race. The second fastest lap of the race goes to P2 in David Gallo with a 157.95. So the times are nice and close up the top.
Yep, definitely. Callan Hodgkinson's just pulled into the lane there.
He has. So Storer and Tessiero. That's right. Miss Dyson saying like, subscribe, and notifications, all those good things. Exactly right, mate. Exactly right. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you are notified anytime we go live across our 6 nights of racing. Of course, if you missed last night's V8 Supercars race, it was an absolute classic. If you're going to watch anything that's on this channel, go and watch that after tonight's race. It was absolutely spectacular. That was our Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars series live on Tuesday nights. Of course, the Wednesday night Shannon's Formula 3 Nationals. The Thursday night Shannon's Toyota GR86 Nationals, which is also Motorsport Australia official series. The Friday night IMSA Shadow Series brought to you by Warren & Brown Tools. The Sunday night Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am, and then ending out our racing week, the Monday night Motorsport Australia Formula V Nationals, which is also a Motorsport Australia official series. Massive race coming up tomorrow night, Steph, for the 8.6s, of course.
Yep.
I'm going to have to double check the track now. I was lining myself up to know it, and then it's just gone blank on me just for this moment in time. The big race happening tomorrow night.
I'll be in trouble 'cause I'm meant to be racing in it, and I don't know where we are.
Sebring. It's Sebring.
Nice.
So, yeah, Crummy's saying it's daytime at Bathurst. Definitely night here. Oh, for sure it would be, Crummy. For sure it would be nighttime there at the moment. But, no, we don't. Well, there was a driver that did a backflip early in the race, actually, Jordan. It was Mr. Caldwell. He did a nice little 180 spin onto his roof. P2 is in the pits. Thank you for pointing that out.
Hello.
As well, Mr. Gallows had to come in. So all of a sudden, can De Bono get home? We're on the final lap of the race.
Well, they pitted on the same lap, so they both pit on lap 11.
No, I think... Did Gallo come in 11?
I think they might have.
I think he did.
He did.
It's final lap regardless, though. Can De Bono make it home? Can he get home off the back of this? If he can't, that means that Belak, Simpson, Byrne and Kanitska could also be in trouble. The one who we'd be looking at who could take the lead would be Shane Bowen. He's done 2 stops. Last came in on lap 11.
Just got the white flag announcement there from race control.
We have indeed. So is it tears or cheers for Dylan De Bono? He would have to be saving right now. Surely it's going to be full clutch halfway down Conrod Straight.
Roll off the acceleration early.
He is
before the corners.
it is. The relative is going down absolutely rapidly, with Kanitska approaching him behind. Has De Bono got enough left to get home? All of a sudden, it's complete disaster here for Velocity Sim Labs. There's Kanitska. Oh, he's run out. Kanitska's run out of fuel. What about De Bono, though? De Bono's on full save. I mean, if they can't do the cooldown lap, they're also going to have a
rear of grid for next
week. They
week.
will. De Bono, though, at the dying embers, will only just make it in the slowest finish to a Bathurst race I think we've ever seen. Full fuel save on the way home.
I think you might have been coughing over the line there.
Yeah, very well could have been. Simpson into P3, P1 for the amateur, for the Pro-Am class. So he'll actually boot Caleb Belak out of the broadcast booth tonight, because we only do the overall top 3 plus then the P1s for Pro-Ams and amateurs. So unfortunately for Caleb, he will not be joining us in the broadcast booth tonight for an interview. I am just going to put a little message into race control just to tell them that.
What a finish.
What a finish. What a
finish.
I mean, it was we built up the intensity, but at the end of the day, that was such a slow finish because of the fuel save. But De Bono got it home, and he managed to get it done.
Nick Schlanenberg's up 13 spots by the end of that. That's a massive jump there to P14.
That's a hell of a run. A hell of a run there from Schmallenberg.
Yeah.
Started up started at the back of the field, managed to survive the majority of the race to get it home. But what a race it was for us here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, out at Bathurst. It's De Bono P1, and I mean it was somewhat of a convincing end to the race. I believe Kanitska's actually dropped spots because he ran out of fuel as well. I believe Daniel Byrne managed to. That's how he pipped him onto the podium of the race. There we can see the man of the hour, Dylan De Bono, winner here tonight. And, well, we had a bit of everything, didn't we, Steph? We had the fuel strategy. We had the carnage that happened on track. We had the battles happening on track, but we also had people running out of fuel at the very end and making it super, super tight. Oh, there's contact on the cool-down lap there between them. So we'll have to wait and see what the rulings are from race control and anything like that. Miss Arthur saying, I think someone might make it back to pitch. Yeah, they won't. So there could be a hell of a lot of drivers, getting rear of grids next week. Jackal's letting me know that they are battling monsoon conditions at the moment in iRacing, so I'll have to go check out how they're going after tonight's broadcast.
They're also saying push him.
Yeah, I mean, hey, why not? Why not?
Look,
get the push happening.
You can definitely do that when you got teammates out there. You're in your team Discord saying, "Hey, give you a push, help me out." Wouldn't be the first, wouldn't be the last time we've done that in Team Apex. So.
No. So we'll wait for our drivers to come into the green room here tonight, and we'll have a chat to them. We will bring up our results for tonight's race, provisional as they are. P1 for the amateurs goes to Mark Cochran from Apex Esports League, ahead of Nick Schmalenberg in P2, with Mitchie Noble making up their podium here tonight. Callum Rossender will then come home P4 to Matt Tesseriero in behind. Kevin Wakefield will then be a lap down on them. Caldwell, Morris, Singovich, Johnston, and then Steve Singovich, I believe. I believe Caldwell and Morris managed to finish, but both the Singoviches and Johnstone failed to finish the race here tonight. Then over to our Pro-Ams. We only had 5 of them out there, Steph. Simpson to Johnson to Storer, with Hodgson and Hudson making up that little grid there here tonight. And then over to our pros. What a wild end of the race it was for them. DeBono comes home P1 to Daniel Byrne and Caleb Ballack getting in on the pro podium. To their Marcus Knitska, Will Ryan, Shane Bowen, David Gallo, Greg Bradley, Doug Gowan, Scott Pocock, and Dave Roberts. Pocock and Roberts did not start the race, so they will not be classified. It is Dougie Gowans at the end of their field here tonight.
Yeah, Dougie would be kicking himself with that one after that. He's I know he's a hard racer, and from my interactions with him, and he'd be absolutely kicking himself after that.
I'm sure he would be. So we'll wait for our drivers to get into the green room to come and have a chat to them. Of course, we have got Caleb in there. We'll bring Caleb in, and we'll let him know that for future, if he's not on the overall podium, then unfortunately we won't have a chat to him. But we'll get him to give a shout out to anyone he wants to, since he's actually coming having a chat to us here tonight. So we'll drag him in. Mr. Ballack, just quickly for future reference, even though you finished P3 here tonight, which congratulations for P3 in your class, for the pros, it is if you're overall P3, because we do so to confirm for you, Caleb, we do the overall podium of the race, and then we also do P1 of Pro-Am and Amateur, but since the P1 of the Pro-Am was in P3 tonight, he would get the precedent. But we'll chat to you anyway, since you came in wanting to have a chat to us, and since you were P3 in your class. But just thought we'd let you know of that just for future. What a race it was. I mean, safety car after safety car, stop-start action. How demoralising is that when trying to get into a rhythm, especially around here?
Oh, man, it's really hard, We just want some good, clean racing, go wheel to wheel and do what we do best, but there's people causing safety car after safety car, and it's just hard, The safety car restarts really bunch up the field, and it makes it hard for good racing because you can't make a move on the guy in front because you'll then be overtaken by the guy behind if you fail. So it's really hard, and then there was all the fuel-saving games, which they're never fun, so... Yeah, it's pretty hard, but in the end, we obviously had a good long stint without any safety cars, which is good.
Now, we caught view of a move that you went for out at McPhillamy Park down the inside of Mr. Gowans. We both kind of came to the conclusion that we wouldn't go for that move personally. Can you walk us through maybe the thought process of, number one, going for the move, but then also actually trying to pull it off? Because as spectacular as it was, we thought it was a little bit questionable, hence why we kind of want the answers to that question, if possible.
Oh, of course. I mean, I had a run coming out of Quarry Corner, so I saw a gap there. Doug went nice and wide for me. There's a gap there, I'll go for that. Put it up the side, had my front at his rear, so obviously I was entitled to space and slowly got up, and then his front wheels were at my rear going into the corner, meaning it's my corner, so obviously I'm never going to back out from there, and he turned down, and obviously the rest is history. He was in the wall and the inside car won.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough to hear your perspective. No matter if we would have gone for it or not, you managed to make it work. Unfortunately, you guys had a bit of a racing incident together, but that's racing at the end of the day. You bang wheels, and one person will come out better, one person may come out worse, or both of you come out worse, or both of you come out unscathed, and it's just one of the dice rolls that you take when it comes to racing. But let us know, anyone who's giving you support out there, mate. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well. And congrats on P3 once again for the pro class.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Every risk has its advantages and disadvantages. But yeah, thanks to SLM Motorsport, Nathan Allen for spotting me tonight. We got there on the fuel strategy, thanks to him, and Pioneer DJ up the side of the car.
All right, thanks a lot, mate. Really appreciate it. Best of luck next time out and for the rest of the season. Only 3 rounds to go. It's pretty tight at the top.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, mate. All right, Steph. We'll bring in our amateur winner, our amateur winner, your good friend, Mr. Mark Cochran. Mark, should I let Steph take the reins on this one, being that you guys are very close?
I think, yeah, put her through a trial run.
Oh, no.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. I love it.
Oh, goodness, no. You can take it, Hamish.
That's fine.
I have a scripted question for Steph at the end if she wants it.
We'll see how we go. Mate, I mean, with the amount of safety cars out there tonight, you're barely able to get any music on the script. I mean, it's hardly any chance to get into a rhythm. Luckily, we didn't really get any towards the latter half of the race. But how was it for you kind of avoiding some of those incidents out there? We saw you kind of get caught up in that first lap incident, but Bathurst claims victims once again, doesn't it? No, yeah, sick chat. Appreciate it, Mark.
Yep.
Thanks, mate. Thanks a lot. Yep.
We don't call him a silent assassin for nothing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He just wants to play a game with me, seeing he has a jigsaw helmet. That's what it is.
Hello.
Oh,
Hey,
there we go.
there you go.
Yeah, sorry. I was talking and I heard you, so thank you. Yeah, that first incident, I actually got through it and I went on the right-hand side and I managed to get that little gap. But it was the second safety car where I got caught up in the accident. So I thought I was done. And I was just trying to think of a way I could claw back some positions. And I think was there 3 safety cars tonight?
There was 3,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, on that third one, I pitted and then I did another pit stop right after to do a splash and dash.
Yeah, we noticed that. And I guess that made the difference for you, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It put in exactly 2 laps of fuel with that splash and dash. And I was praying, hoping there was no extra safety car because that would have just thrown my strategy out the window.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw the AMs come into the pits on the last lap or second last lap, and then I saw, I think it was Rossender maybe, slowing on Conrad, and I was like, oh yes, here we go.
Well, I mean, you made it work for yourself, and at the end of the day, you got one hell of a win for your class. You managed to get yourself a good position in the championship, and yeah, it all worked out for you. So, what's this scripted question you want Steph to ask you?
I think the one that JT posted about podium interviews and sponsors.
Oh, I see.
You
could have told her at the start of the interview, Mark, so she actually had time to search
your
for
message?
it.
I gotta find
Yeah, I
it.
would have been on a podium.
I gotta find it.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll have it prepped for next time, I'm sure.
That's it. I'll have it ready to go next week.
Yeah. But let us know who's giving you support out there, mate. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to from Apex Esports League, or even just anyone you want to shout out, whether it's your friends or people that you don't particularly like. It's up to you, of course. It's your time to do so.
Yeah, a massive shout out to our incredible sponsors and partners: Pagnini Advanced Simulation, Next Level Racing, Dubby, Fanatec, Stump Grinding Central Coast, and our newest sponsor, Razor. And of course, thanks to Apex Esports League and the rest of our team for all the ongoing support. And I think I have some of my Year 12 students watching this stream. They need to get cracking with their homework, which is due tomorrow.
Are you a teacher, Mark?
I am. An English teacher.
Oh, really? Oh, very interesting. Interesting. I'm not going to ask you which school you teach at, because you may not be able to, unless you're able to say, obviously. But but then we can also shout out the students in other weeks and be like, "Oi, get back to your homework."
Yeah, somewhere in Newcastle.
Oh, okay, well, I don't know Newcastle schools, so that's fine. But regardless, mate, congratulations. You can now use this piece as something to teach your students with, I'm sure, in future. How do you win races at Bathurst? Well, watch how your teacher did it. But
Watch the video.
Exactly, watch the video. Maybe a sneaky way you could do it is get them to do like a literacy breakdown of how commentary works and stuff like that, and you just force them to watch this race and try and pick apart how me and Steph presented the show.
What did Hamish say at this timestamp? What did Steph say at this timestamp?
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And
There's your next assessment done, sorted for you.
Yep, for sure. Congratulations, regardless, though, Mark. Thanks a lot for coming to have a chat to us tonight, mate, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Hamish. Thanks, Steph.
No worries, Mark.
Oh, very, very good. We'll drag Mr. Simpson in. Mr. Simpson, you managed to only get P1 in the Pro-Ams, but you also snuck your way up to the overall podium in the old Piranha F3 machine here tonight. How was that one for you, mate?
It was just a bit of a survival game, really.
I guess that's the best way you can describe it, really, isn't it? It's a multitude of safety cars, massive incidents out on track, and at the end of the day, yeah, it was king of survival, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But
I'm not sure how I snuck through that second incident. I was very close to being hit there, but managed to just sneak through. So, well, I had good luck for a change. It doesn't happen very often.
Well, I think they may be renaming the town of Bathurst to Las Vegas at some point, because the amount of dice rolls that worked out for people here tonight, not only just in their strategy, but also actually being able to avoid things and getting that luck on their side. I'd say, buy a lotto ticket this week, possibly, if that's your thing, because there was a bit of luck involved for quite a few drivers. But to get yourself up not only into the lead of the Pro-Am class, but also onto the overall podium, that's got to feel pretty special, especially at a track like this.
It's one of the best drives I've had for a long time, that's for sure. Haven't been having a very good run in the F3s at all this season, and missed the last couple of rounds due to other commitments and stuff, so it was good. Always loved Bathurst though, so me and one other teammate done 12 hours of it with just the two of us, so I know the place pretty well.
Well, you'd have to hope after 12 hours of driving around here, you'd have some semblance of an idea of how to cut a lap, wouldn't you?
One or two, I'd hope.
Yeah. Oh, very good, mate. All right, well, let us know who's giving you support out there, mate. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well, and let us know of those. I know there's a multitude of them, of the sponsors that help get those piranhas out on track week in and week out.
Yeah, first and foremost, the Fishy Motorsport Group themselves, great bunch of blokes. West End Motor Group, Infinity Designs, DC Shades, Battery Warehouse, Arley Beach, and Precision Sim Training.
You've done exactly what I told Ty Delaney to do on Sunday night, where instead of naming all of the subsidiaries of West End Motor Group, you just said West End Motor Group. So I can appreciate that you didn't have to run down all the car yards out of Parramatta. But thanks for coming to have a chat to us, Adam. Congratulations once again. Best of luck next time out, and if we don't speak to you, best of luck for the rest of the season.
All right, mate. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, Steph, I reckon we drag in our P1 and 2 in together and have a quick chat to them, because those guys were obviously on track all day.
Definitely.
I am just going to set up, though, the little interview thing that comes up for us. But, just quickly as well, I'll quickly ask you this question as well, Steph. How have you felt about, obviously, we've kind of had two polar opposite races the last couple of weeks, in terms of the carnage, but also the battles on track. How do you think it's kind of stacked up previously to the races that you've seen in F3s across SRW?
Ooh. Tough one. I think tonight's probably most definitely the most chaotic, action-packed. But look, it doesn't really matter where, which race you watch. It's always great viewing. Here on SRW TV, it's always great. The guys are a high caliber of driving, and they're always so close to each other. It's it's hard to pick a better race than another, if I'm completely honest.
Well, I'm gonna be absolutely biased, and I'm gonna say that yesterday's race was probably the best race we've had all season, across the board. I even said it yesterday. But apart, I think that is definitely a one-off of that happening. Like,
I haven't had a chance to watch it as yet.
Maybe
that's my
it's
homework tonight.
Maybe it's yeah, that's your homework for tonight. Definitely. We're gonna have Mark score you on that one, but but yeah, I think maybe it's the recency bias. I don't know, but I do think it'll live up to expectations for a first time viewing. We will drag in though our top 2 finishers for the night: Dylan De Bono and Daniel Byrne. And we wanted to bring you boys in together because you basically ran in P1 the whole race together, being you were under the safety car for the majority of the time. What a hectic race, and I guess yous were kind of lucky to jump Bradley off the start and avoid some of that. Well, not some of, all of the carnage that ensued.
Yeah, I missed what happened at the start there. At the very start of the race, I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, it'd be interesting to watch it back because it sounded like there was quite a bit of carnage going on behind us. So yeah, it was interesting. Lots of safety cars. I would have rather have raced a little bit more, but yeah, had to do what we had to do, I guess. But yeah, good fun tonight.
We have had a quick question here from Phil Vella in the chat. Did you both finish the parade lap?
Yeah. Yep.
Vella, did you have to bring that up, buddy?
Did you finish it, Daniel?
No, I didn't finish it.
Oh.
No. So yeah, be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, that's why my teammate David, who was up the front the whole time, he actually pitted, I think, on his last lap or the penultimate lap. He actually, we were comparing how much fuel we had, and I had about 0.5 more than he did. And he said that he had to pit or else he wasn't actually going to finish. He wasn't going to make it to the finish line. So I pressed on, made it past the finish line, but didn't make it over the mountain. So yeah.
Well, I guess the beauty is next week is a super sprint around Okayama. Not a bad round to get a rear of grid. I mean, you can make up positions if you get into the top 10 in race 1, then well, you get the reverse grid for race 2, and then all you got to do is stay in the top 5 for race, for race 2, and then you get, reverse grid again, and you basically stay within the same drivers. So it's wouldn't be so much of a loss, I guess, if you can make your way through the field. Obviously, we know you have the pace, Daniel. How was it though?
Jeez, I hope it's that easy.
Well,
we'll see.
Sometimes it's easier said than done, isn't it? But
it can be tricky making your way up through some of the guys that may be a little bit less experienced, where it can be sometimes unpredictable where they're they might hit the brakes a little bit early than what I might be thinking, and it's easy to trip up and then lock up the brakes and make a little mistake. So it's always tricky kind of making your way through, but it's good fun as well. If it works, it's a lot of fun to do.
Now, Daniel, I just want to quickly ask you this. So obviously Dylan. I'll ask you as well, Daniel, actually. So both Dylan and Daniel. Obviously, you both had a great start off the line, got past Greg. How was it battling amongst each other on the laps that you did have green? And how was it actually adjusting that strategy towards the end of the race? Obviously rolling those dice, seeing if it would play out.
I think the start was scared to get a good start. I sort of got past Greg, and I think he made a mistake at the top of the hill, and then it was just me and David going at it. And then, I sort of thought to myself, it's going to be close here for a 2-stop, and then we had all those safety cars, and it was close for a 1-stop. And then we were getting closer and closer, and then I just knew I had to start saving fuel somewhere. I noticed David was saving fuel as well. So I was like, oh, well, I guess we're both on the same strategy here, so sort of gave me a bit of reassurance.
You actually just reminded me that I have to kind of correct myself then. Yeah, you're right. It was David who was with you. You know what, Daniel? Because you and David have got the exact same livery, for some reason I thought it was just you battling Dylan all day. But and then I just realised you actually were able to get past Marcus because he ran out of fuel in the end, and that's what got you up into P2. But I suppose what was going through your mind, Daniel, when you did actually see Marcus coming up to the finish line and you managed to get it past him in the end and onto P2?
To be honest, I didn't really know what was going on. I wasn't sure my position because people had ducked into the pits, and my relative was all over the place. I had cars in front of me that were a lap down, so I wasn't actually really sure. I thought it was actually a lapped car that I passed. So I was surprised to see that I actually made it into P2. So yeah, it was a good surprise.
Oh, well, Daniel, let us know who's giving you the support out there, mate, and the support to Carlin's Motorsport, and anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well.
Yeah, sure. So shout outs to Carlin's Motorsport, Drive Raider 8 on YouTube and TikTok, Glam Raider, Australia's largest viral online beauty store, Little Rara, wines from Victoria's popular Piran Vineyard, Eagers Automotive, Australia's largest automotive retail group, and shout outs to Atari, Bianca, French and Minka, Zach and Levi, and to my mate Ryan. Stop playing around with Gran Turismo and come and play a real sim.
Oh, I could not appreciate that sentiment anymore. But thanks for coming and have a chat to us, Daniel. Appreciate it,
cheers,
mate.
Guys.
Best of
See
luck
you
next
time.
week. Thanks, mate.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Well, Dylan, just quickly here before we get you to give the shout outs. Obviously, getting the win tonight, fairly important for for somewhat of a championship challenge. Now, you weren't in the top 6 coming into this race. If I check the season standings just quickly.
Yeah, I think it's still a long way out.
Yeah. What it will do is, though, it will at least get you closer and closer to a top 10 possibly. But what it is actually going to do is it's going to help you challenge for the F1 title. Being that you finished ahead of Caleb, you were P7 in the F1 standings last week, 144 points. Daniel was ahead of you in those standings. He still will be ahead of you after winning here tonight. But that championship fight's definitely still within a shout. How are you feeling going forward into these final 3 rounds? Obviously some tough tracks ahead being, Okayama and Phillip Island and Mugello. And then obviously between seasons, we have 2 more F1 rounds to come. What's kind of the mindset going into the end of this season, but then also going into next season with the car changeover as well?
If I'm honest with you, then to finish, my preferred to finish this season off would be with a couple more wins. It's something I'm really going to try and aim for. And then depending on what they do next season with the car and that sort of stuff, over the break, get a lot of testing in, figure that one out, and see how we go.
Very good, mate. Well, thanks for coming and have a chat to us once again. Let us know who's giving you and Velocity Sim Labs the support out there, and anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well.
Yeah, just like you said, Velocity Sim Labs, all the help they do. Original Digital Design, all the boys over there, they get the job done. SIW, you guys for streaming it, and yeah.
Very good, mate. Well, thanks again. Big congratulations on your win here tonight. Best of luck out at Okayama next week for Super Sprint action. If we don't speak to you, best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. Oh, I nearly dragged you out then, Steph. He left before I had a chance to. That's all right, though. But
he left quick.
He did. Great to speak to all of our winners and our podium finishers here tonight. Congratulations once again goes out to them. Big shout out goes out to all of our series sponsors as well. Shannon's Insurance, Warren & Brown Tools, Motorsport Australia, NeuroPower, DSL Rail Services, Grim Industries and Motorsport Australia. Thank you for supporting the series. Thank you to everyone as well for welcoming us into their homes tonight or wherever they may be watching from. We appreciate you taking time out of your lives, out of your day, to have us with you and to let us bring you some exciting action here out at Bathurst for the Shannon's Insurance Formula 3 Nationals. It's been a phenomenal start to round 6 so far. Obviously, if you didn't see last night's race, be sure to go and check it out, guys. It was absolutely phenomenal. Tonight's race was exceptional in a fireworks sort of way. We saw a bit of a fireworks display out there here tonight, but it was still good to see. Tomorrow night coming up, we have got the Shannon's Toyota Giro 86 Nationals out at Sebring. I was about to say I said the track earlier and then I forgot, but then I realised when I said that.
Sebring.
So, out at Sebring. Should be very, very interesting to see how that goes. Reminder that this weekend, of course, we have got coming up Saturday night, the Super Soaker Saturday night, our iRacing Rain Spectacular coming your way. With some 8.6 action happening out at Oran Park, some F3 action in the new Super Formula Lights happening out at Phillip Island, and then also some fantastic IMSA action out at Le Mans, where there will be rain at all 3 races in some form or fashion. So if you want to come and check it out, it'll be 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time that we will be going live for the first race, which will be the 8.6s. We'll then be running for all of the races that happen that night. and we'll give a good insight of the rain and see how they handle it, how the drivers handle it, and how the drivers handle these new challenges that will be coming their way come Season 2 of SRW next season. But for myself, Hamish Munro, Stefanie Piccoli alongside me. Thanks for joining me once again, Steph. Really appreciate you taking time to come and be with me once again. Will you be there Friday night for IMSA?
No.
Oh, okay. So it seems that we need to find another co-host once again Friday night.
I feel terrible. I'm sorry, guys.
That's all right. That's okay. Also, Friday night for IMSA, ladies and gentlemen, we will be looking forward to some absolutely phenomenal action coming out of Daytona. It's going to be absolutely wild to see what happens. There will be no rain prior to our rain spectacular on Saturday night, but after then, there could be rain coming for the 86s and for IMSA going forward. We'll have to wait and see on that one, though, to see how it pans out.
Bring it on.
But for myself, Hamish Munro and Stefanie Piccoli, this has been Sim Racing World TV. The Shannons, Formula 3 Nationals, out at Mount Panorama for round 6 of Season 1 of 2024. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time for tomorrow night's Shannon's Toyota GR86 Nationals. But until then, bye for now.
Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to slip on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanak and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us.